Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole damn channel, and make sure you jingle that bell for notifications. We have reached the Rocket Mortgage Challenge Classic Championship. I don't even know what they call it. Rocket Mortgage something in Detroit, the Motor City, home of the Metal Pan Pizza with sauce on top. Let's go. It's a bomb and gouge course. It's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And the scoring side again for the second straight week. This field, not great, but we're going to dive into it because I think there's a lot of edges. There's some long shot, buckshot approaches we're going to take this week. If you like money, you're going to want to stick around after the drop. Mama, 19th hole's back. Another week, another near long shot winner or semi-long shot winner. We didn't have quite enough to beat the best in the world quite against 6 times this year. He's kind of burned us. I mean, one of those times we kind of we pulled a fast one on the live betting scheme, but we are thankful, Connor, that Scottie Scheffler's going to take a few weeks off before the Open. The Rocket Mortgage Challenge. It's usually a Tony Finau track, but he's sitting out. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I kind of wish he was here. It's like the one time a year that I get pumped to play.
Feel good about it.
I don't. Hey, and I don't know. I called for a Scottie lull last week.
Yeah,
that instantly regret that.
Yeah. So the kids are saying that he's good.
Yeah, he's lit, no cap,
no fleek, on fleek, no cap, bussin' for real. We're both way too old to be saying shit like that. But yeah, in all seriousness, kudos to Scottie Scheffler. That's the pinnacle of golf right now. 6 wins, first time since Tiger Woods, a little known golfer. Tiger Woods, 2009, he did it 6 times, which is that's how far behind, like, on a legacy spectrum that Scottie Scheffler is, because yeah, he did it 1 time this season, and this is a 1/6 of what Tiger Woods did during his prime. It's insane to look back at those years and think that, oh yeah, when Tiger didn't win 6, it was weird.
Tiger Woods, yeah, not familiar with his work. I'll have to look him up later.
His real name's Eldrick.
You know what? That rings a bell. Maybe that's why I haven't seen him around.
Detroit.
Yeah, that's where we are. Are you drinking tonight? Are you abstaining?
I'm about to. I didn't get any sleep last night. It's been too hot and humid here. We're used to 105 and dry. The last couple of days have been 98 and humid, which is way worse. I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, our entire tri-state area is underwater, so it's been a little touch and go up here in the Great North.
It's Sioux Rain Falls, right?
Straight.
Yeah. Well, I'm pouring the rest of this Evan Williams bottled in bond, so I'll have to go to the store and spend another $20 for my camping whiskey because I'm finishing this motherfucker right now.
Well, so far in the last 5 weeks, the only week I've won is when I've been fueled by this.
Ezra.
So we're going back, hoping for a little luck.
Yeah, you got 99 proof. I got 100 proof. We are getting litty tonight.
Yeah, I got 99 problems. Winning bets ain't one, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm back on the winning streak, winning ways. I had an outstanding week DFS-wise. I didn't get skunked on the betting side thanks to placement bets on Patrick Cantlay and Akshay Bhatia.
We do have to give a shout out on DFS. For the first time,
Tim.
We had a listener dethrone us, I think.
It was the first time in 4 or 5 weeks that we've done a listener / you and me DK league with 4 of us. And Timmy got the win. Beat me at the on the last day. I was winning until Akshay Bhatia's last few holes, and Timmy Burke came through with the big win. Asshole. We congratulate you for not letting us take your money last week. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. It was a good week for him.
I had a great week. Other than that, I was pretty happy that I won pretty much all my other things. At least cashed in almost every tournament I was in. I was up to 37th out of 7,100 in the single entry DK tournament, which was awesome until Akshay Bhatia kind of faltered at the end, and I fell to, I think, 300 and something out of 7,000. I'll take that. That was a good 5x payout.
So Friday I was 28th in the $5 50K, and then
it happened.
I won $0 by the end of the weekend in that tournament, so that's fun. Looking good for a minute.
Yeah, but a profit's a profit. We'll move on to this week. Rocket Mortgage. You're drinking the Ezra? I'm drinking the Evan. And shoot, man, I'm so out of it. Let's.
I was gonna say, we got all kinds of people talking to us. We got Burke's here. Royal Slade is back. Toronto Dave. Chelsea's in the chat. Our fearless leader, Seth.
There we go. There's Chelsea. Pearly White's Connor. Oh, yeah, he's got his braces off. How long were those train tracks on your face there, Connor?
About as long as you've known me. So
I know. I think year one, you didn't have braces. Your teeth were just mangled and crooked, and you probably had an uneven bite for the first year of this show. And then the last 2 years, I think you've had braces, right?
3.5, actually.
Holy fuck, dude. He looks great, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I'll be on the show maybe 1 or 2 more times. My modeling career is going to be taking off soon. So,
yeah, it ain't for hand modeling.
I'm officially the better looking of the two of us now. So that's fun.
Damn it. I got to get my Invisalign going. All right. Toronto Slay. Everybody's, even our fearless leaders watching the show today. Great. Shout out to Seth, Royal. Let's go. Shout out Calgary, Alberta. Toronto Dave working on his swing. He's looking better, buddy. Keep it up. Keep it up.
I second that. It is looking
use
better.
Those big muscles. Use your core stability. Be an athlete on that swing. Let it rip, sucker. Let's go. And Tim is gloating. He's being cordial here in the chat, but I just know he's grinning ear to ear with his winning ways.
Well, let's win some bets and take down some DFS this week. I think I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling bad that he was the only one I lost to. I'm pissed about that, Tim. You're gonna feel my vengeance this week.
Out for blood.
All right, let's talk about Detroit Golf Club after the drop. Connor wants to wax poetically about probably the easiest golf course on the PGA Tour and one of the newest ones. Shout out putting contests. Come on, Royal. The snow melted already. keep it light. I don't know if you're hitting on Connor this early in the show, but the snow has melted. You can go outside now. There's sunshine in Canada still.
You can slide in my DMs later.
How long does it take to walk from Calgary to Sioux Falls? I'm going to Google map that right now.
Well, right now you can just raft on down. Just catch one of the overflowing.
Yeah, actually, Royal's probably still happy that the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers at the Stanley Cup Final last night. Shout out to the Florida Panthers in Fort Lauderdale. But he thinks you're handsome. I guess you passed for a 10 in Canada. Good for you.
Sioux Falls 4, Canadian
10. Oh, boom! Man. I'll take it.
California 3.5. We're moving up.
Ooh, maybe a 2. Especially when the sun's out, man.
Yeah, I'm a little pasty. All right. So, without further ado, the least exciting tournament that I think we cover all year, Rocket Mortgage Classic, Detroit Golf Club, par 72, 7,370 yards. Bent fairways, POA overseed, bent and POA greens. It is a birdie fest on a really easy course. The fairways are wide, easy to hit. They're going to be soft, especially given that we're going to have some moisture pretty much daily. The rough is inconsequential. The greens, though they're small, are really easy to hit and hold.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everyone will be in the fairway. Pretty much everyone will be on the green. Bombers are definitely going to have a bit of an advantage here. Bomb it, be good with the wedges, be good at putting. Like both said, this does tend to turn into a bit of a putting contest. If nothing else, putting is a differentiator. But outside of that, like I said, we're going to have a little bit of moisture in the forecast pretty much daily. Wind is going to be pretty well sustained, 10 to 15 mile per hour throughout the whole deal, with maybe gusts around 20 on the weekends. Nothing crazy. Guessing 25 to 27 under for the winter, and maybe cut around 4 under.
Yeah. So I do have to ask, because inquiring minds want to know, is who posted your bail on Sunday when you were tackled on the 18th green at River Highlands?
I have a strong take on some things. Sometimes you got to protest.
Yeah, maybe spray paint and stuff when you're protesting petroleum. Maybe not smart. Right? I thought you were smarter than that.
And
then you kicked the flowers over on your way out,
which was like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, the whole thing was absolutely stupid, but
yeah, I was with everybody else cheering for them getting their face put into the ground pretty hard.
I liked Hadwin's tweet. At least when I got tackled, I didn't spill my beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor guy dropped his paint bag.
Darn.
So yeah, I agree with you. This is bomb and gouge central. There's no penalty to anywhere. There's hardly any water hazards. There's hardly any rough. There's hardly any bunkers. This is just, if you're good, you're good, and if you're not, you're still pretty good.
Yeah, and I think it kind of lends itself to being like a really hard field to pinpoint exactly who should or could win. Like we said, bombers are going to have like an advantage, but a lot of the proximities and a lot of the like accuracy parts of the game, like there's a lot of dudes in this field that can definitely hang, even though they're not the longest of hitters. So,
oh yeah, I really think it's going to turn into one of those, just like whoever gets that hot putter. These greens are a little tricky. I mean, they're not gonna be overly complicated, but compared to everything else from tee to green, I think you're going to find that the guys that are better at reading greens, who are good at finding the pace early on and finding that groove, that's going to be really important, because you're not going to see very many big scores. There's not going to be crooked numbers on this course. You might see guys go on a par streak where they're not making putts, and they're going to fall behind quickly. We are returning to a full field 36-hole cut, top 65 in ties, I believe. It's going to be tough for some guys to make enough birdies, and we've seen a couple of these favorites that we're going to preclude where they've at times struggled to make enough birdie putts, and they're getting really short numbers because there's no Scotty here. There's nobody in the top 20 here.
Interesting that, like, with the birdie rate, like I put a lot of emphasis on scoring stats this week and opportunity stats, things like that. Yes. Just spots where guys are going to be able to rack up birdies. Kind of to your point, I think the carnage comes in the way of like par streaks, not necessarily like bogeys. Right. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but yeah, we can definitely flip over and get into it. I don't have a whole lot of exciting things.
I got to do one thing real quick, because I almost forgot. I saw a name on here that I need to eliminate by putting on opportunities gained.
That's what I love about you and I. We just adjust this shit on the fly.
Opportunities gained. We're gonna eliminate Alex Noren. Bye-bye, Alex. It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. For anybody who thinks
that you and I like talk a lot before the show,
we don't.
We never know what we're about to go.
He actually leaves me on red quite often, and vice versa.
That's fair.
All right, yeah, let's bet on some golf. Club twirls incoming.
saw Thad Monday qualified, so he'll be.
He did. He checked 3 beers in between the 18th and the playoff, which he did win. Good job, Nick Benz, I think. Is that his name?
I'm pretty sure it's Ben's. I didn't know who he
Yeah.
was. I don't know if you
Yeah,
did.
nobody knows who he is. He's a Golf Galaxy employee. Shout out Golf Galaxy, losing things in our favor all the time.
Yeah, we won't go into that, but
No, we won't need to. But yeah, Golf Galaxy employee has never qualified for anything. He really doesn't play very many events because he works full time at Golf Galaxy. But ended up shooting a 65, 7 under par at the qualifier on Monday and made a playoff. Won the playoff. Qualified for the Rocket Mortgage. We also have the debut of 15-year-old Miles Russell, who it does not have a betting line. If you can find him, it's going to be like 1,000 to 1 or more. If you can find any kind of line and on him, it's going to be like cut made. But I don't know. He looked really good on the Corn Ferry Tour a couple weeks ago. But let's get right into the favorites. It's been the talk of the golf betting industry all week since the lines dropped. Disgusting. The top of this board is disgusting. The shortest odds you've ever seen on guys who have no business having short odds, but they're just following the money. A lot of money's coming in on Cam Young after his 59 last week. A lot of money's coming in on Tom Kim, who is the betting favorite right now at 12 to 1. 12 to 1 for Tom Kim. Is that where we're at, Connor? I like Tom Kim. I really do. And he's played better each of the last 6 weeks. He's playing his 9th event in a row. That should tell you everything you need to know about where I'm going with my betting card, and it ain't that way.
Yeah, and I heard an interesting stat about Tom Kim, and not that Tom Kim's playing bad golf, but Tom Kim played out of this world this past week. Like, just to be clear, he literally matched Scotty in every strokes gain metric, almost metric to metric, which is, no offense to Tom Kim, not
out of character.
Yeah,
out of character.
Yeah, so I don't think that we get lightning in a bottle here. I think Tom Kim probably competes. This is a lower talent field, but 12 to 1 for Tom Kim is not worth the risk, in my opinion.
On the Cam Young front, I am a little interested in him. For reference, Tom Kim is 11th in my model, but Cameron Young is 4th. And other than the 96th in putting that he's coming into this field with, which is not great, he is an outstanding birdie maker. He is extremely long off the tees, very good on approach. He's just got to make some more putts. He made a ton of putts last week. That's what gives me encouragement that he can hang and obviously score with anybody in this field. This is a kind of a Cam Young thing. 16 to 1 seems okay for him. I'm not in love with it. I'm going to start my aggressive betting a little lower, but I think I want a little piece of Cam Young because he played really well last week where I didn't expect him to.
Interesting though. I think we both expected him to play better than maybe you're letting on. I mean,
I had him 40% of my DFS line.
Right.
I didn't expect him to win though.
No.
And he didn't, because he never does.
And I think that's where I'm at with Cam Young, right? He never wins. 16 to 1 is incredibly short for arguably one of the most volatile players in the field.
Oh yeah.
So no, I don't like that number. If he was a little longer, maybe if he was down in like the Akshay, Pendrith, Jaeger, yeah, maybe. But
yeah, that's the sweet spot right now, 20 to 35.
Yeah, that's kind of where I start out too. So I kind of
Akshay Bhatia. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about Akshay Bhatia since we were damn near on fire with him last week. He played out of his mind until Sunday. He shot 2 under on Sunday, which doomed him. But we're talking he was almost another wire to wire winner because he was right there with Scotty and Tom the entire tournament. He just had a bad day on Sunday where he couldn't make a putt, and he almost made us look like a genius again this year. 20 to 1 for him. That's actually pretty solid with the way he's playing.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm just not in love with the course fit for him. And every time I say that about Akshay, he somehow manages to figure it out. But there's something about the lack of distance and the inconsistencies with the putter. Like his putter is better, but
that's his weak spot for sure.
And the distance and honestly, the opportunities gained, like his approach game is okay. It's not great. And he doesn't tend to hit it real close. He saves himself with his putter. So a lot of things have to come together for Akshay for him to win here. Like if you can get a decent number on a top 10 or top 20 even, I mean, that's probably more where I'm at with Akshay. I'll have some DFS, but I'm probably out betting.
You know who I'm betting heavy on?
Is it something you shower in?
Jaeger bombs. Or Cashmere Keith.
I am all over Cashmere Keith.
Yeah. But Jaeger bomb, Steven Jaeger, he won the Houston Open over Scotty Scheffler. That was another birdie making paradise event. He's fifth in my model. Other than putting has not been great for him, his approach on short distances hasn't been great. But other than that, this guy's in the top 10 of every category. And I just think that he's the bomb and gouge specialist that we're looking for in this kind of event. So give me Steven Jaeger at 25-1 currently. And yeah, I am all in on Keith Mitchell. Cashmere Keith, third in my model. He is only outside the top 40 in wedge approach, or like pitching wedge range, 125 to 150. If you go 125 and under, he is actually way better, 15th in this field. 5th in driving distance, 20th in opportunities, off the tee, 4th overall, birdies, 8th. This guy is just checking all the boxes. If he can make some putts, Cashmere Keith, this is what we wait for Cashmere Keith to do. Let's go.
Yeah, over the last 24, he rates out. He's number 2 in my model behind Tom Kim. And like I already alluded to, that stat's going to be skewed for Tom Kim based on an unreal performance last week. So Keith Mitchell probably in reality is playing better golf than Tom Kim. He's first in tee to green. He's second in opportunities gained. We know that he kills it off the tee. Not only is he long, but he's accurate. The putting is terrifying, but I love that. I love that second in opportunities gained. So to your point, he's going to be closer if we can just get that putter to be flat-ish. I mean,
guess what? On POA bent surfaces, he's 40th.
If only it was Bermuda.
Well, Bermuda, he can't putt. He's like I ran it for like no particular service. He was 110th. I ran it for Bermuda. He's like 80th. I ran it for POA Bent, which is this week's surface, 42nd. That's much better. So this is his best surface to putt on, even though he's a better overall player on Bermuda because that's his deal as a Georgia Bulldog. I bet you can't guess who number 1 in my model is.
I got nothing.
It's our guy, friend of the show, Willie Z. Will Zalatoris, number 1 in my model. Ball striking, off the tee, birdies making, greens in regulation, putting in this in my parameters, 55th, which is a lot better than all the other parameters I ran. 4th in opportunities, top 10 in both of our yardage buckets. 18th in driving distance. I think Willie Z is ready for a renaissance. Can we get a 35-1 Willie Z victory this week?
Man, this is why sometimes I'm thankful we don't talk about our models before the show. He's not even in my top 25. I don't know why, but I think
I run a lot of filters though. I run a lot of filters. We differ in that way.
That's true. I'll say this. I was surprised to not see him pop up, and it's mostly because like he is still one of the better iron players around. In general, I'd say the putter, which has been historically what we always get worried about with him, like I'd actually say that it's been pretty improved this year. Yep. So I think it's hard to know exactly where Willie Z is at.
What a number. That's what I love.
I think it's a really good number. So I kind of get where you're coming from. He's not going to make my card this week, but 35-1 seems like a good number on him.
I'd rather play him than Aaron Rye at 30.
I'd rather play Mav McNeely than both of them, but
yeah. Let's talk about Mav. Mav is 18th in my model, so definitely in the pool, definitely getting some love. 28-1 is where I have him currently, but at different books, 28, 30, 35. If you get a Mav McNeely line, number 1 in birdie or better percentage, that's pretty good. We're looking for that. He's also number 2 in putting, That's pretty good too. He's a great putter, and he's not a short hitter. 39th in the field in driving distance. That's solid. We're looking at 305 to 310 off the tee. That's solid. We will definitely take that and run. Mav McNeely kind of fits the golf course. He really does.
Well, and the birdie or better rate with this guy, even though he hasn't necessarily had great form this year. I mean,
it's a good thing we didn't filter for bogey avoidance.
Yeah, as you might guess, I did not put that in here this week.
I didn't either.
But he's 10th overall tee to green, and like I said, it's a little less than stellar form out of him this year. This is just a course that makes a ton of sense for Mav. Hit it accurate off the tee, hit a good approach shot, be handy with the wedges, which he is, and make a few putts. I mean, it makes way too much sense. Like of anything that we've got left in the season, like this is probably the best place to fire up some Mav.
So I bid farewell to Alex Noren. Don't bet him at 31. If you're betting outrights on Alex Noren, just quit golf betting.
Yeah, if you're dying to play Alex Noren, work him into some DFS at 28% projected. But so that's that kind of rounds out up there. I probably don't. I've got some interest in Davis Thompson at 35 to 1, and
solid.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of love.
The par 5 killer.
And there's a lot of love for guys in the 50s, but like, I don't know. Ryan Fox is super volatile. I get why people like his fit.
Because he's a bomber. Yeah.
He hits
the absolute shit out of the ball. That's why people like him.
And Ricky Fowler,
defending champion Ricky Fowler, get it right.
Defending champion.
You picked him last year.
I know that. One of the many hits we had last year. I think the deal with Ricky Fowler is, yes, he played well last week. Yes, he's the defending champion. And as it did last year, this course sets up good for him this year. I just worry that he's been so up and down this year that 50 to 1, I think, is a good number to reflect the risk. But I'm more tempted to go after like a top 10 or a top 20 on him.
He looked really good last week. He's number 6 in my model. 50 to 1 for number 6 in my model means Ricky Fowler's in the damn pool, and Ricky Fowler's getting a bet.
Don't fault you for it at all.
Yeah. I'm going to skip Fox. I'm going to skip Dead to Me Adam Svensson. Thanks, but no thanks. Nikolai Højgaard, usually a friend of the show, not this week. He's been awful this year. Chris Kirk is a little bit better at 60 to 1. That's kind of getting up to speed here. But my entire life has been waiting for Michael Thorbjornsen, who opened at 60 to 1 as a second professional event.
Now 75.
75 to 1. Michael Thorbjornsen, run, don't walk to the window, because when this kid hits his prime, you are never going to see a line that short ever again. This guy is a prodigy. He is the future of golf. He is absolutely the future of this game. Michael Thorbjornsen is so good, and you guys have no clue. This guy is that good, and I'm excited. I'm going to bet the absolute shit out of him every time until he gets shorter, and then I'll kind of ease off him and wait around. But I have a feeling it's not going to be very long before the whole golf world knows that this guy is for real.
Interesting comment from Royal, because that ties into exactly what I was going to say. The minute I saw the tee time pairings Thursday and Friday, I think I fired it off to everybody I know.
Yeah.
Oberg and Thorbjornsen together.
Oberg letting us both down last week.
I didn't even care. Like, I think they are the future of golf, and that was the first parlay into watching the two of them battle it out a little bit.
And they played. I mean, Thorbjornsen's on, was it Saturday? He shot 64, and you're like, woo!
But to answer Royal's question, no, Mr. Oberg is not.
No, nobody in the top 20 is in this field.
So, but no, I'm 100% with you on Mikey Thorne. So get him while he's
75 to 1.
That's ridiculous.
That's so nice.
You can make an argument right there that our old friend Rio Hasasuni at 80 to 1 has arguably the right fit for the course.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we start getting long.
Yeah. And I think at this point, after Thorbjornsen, is when I start just firing off buckshot long shots. like bomb and gouge specialists. There's going to be some guys like Chris Goddard up here at 100-1 that are bomb and gouge specialists who can putt pretty well. Goddard up 47th in putting, obviously one of the longest hitters in the world. And Luke List. I hate it, but this guy's putting has been better. It's still not his strong suit, but he's a great approach player. He's a great off the tee player. And if he can get hot on a course like this, watch out. And same thing for Sacramento native, shout out NorCal, Cameron Champ. This is the kind of event like Mexico, like Punta Cana, where you get the guy who's that good off the tee. He's an outstanding short game player, obviously, but he makes a lot of birdies. He makes a lot of mistakes. He's one of the worst approach players in the world. I think if Cameron Champ can figure out a little bit of an approach game, he can make a ton of birdies. He hasn't proven me wrong yet. I've been very selective about where I play him. This is the kind of week where we play Cameron Champ. At 120-1, you can do a lot worse.
I'm gonna let you ride or die on that one. That is not my boy. I do not share your opinion on him, but I get the point.
What about Bud Colley?
Let's talk about our old friend Chandler Phillips, who we were incredibly quick to forget about, apparently, who raced out third in my model. 100,
Phillips, yeah.
100-1 on Chandler Phillips. So
I'd rather play Jake Knapp.
So Jake Knapp's on my list as well. Talking about Chandler Phillips real quick, he's in the top 12 for every approach and scoring metric that I look like, despite being 116th in this field for driving distance. Mm-hmm. So he also is number 6 over the last 24 rounds for opportunities gained. So not only is he in the top 10 for overall approach, but he's hitting it close. He's scoring well. Yeah, I love Chandler Phillips at 100-1.
I like him.
Jake Knapp. The thing I like about Jake Knapp is inconsequential off the tee accuracy. And also we all like Jake Knapp a little bit better, where it's a lot more like touch short iron play. He's kind of proven that that's about the only spot that he's got accuracy from.
That's true.
So true. I do like how Jake Knapp sets up here as well.
And let's see my long shots board here. I have it written down. Garrett Higo, 200-1, great putter, great long hitter. Rico Hoey, 250-1, friend of the show, Rico Hoey, 250-1. That's nice. And I'm going to throw some shekels out there for our guy Nick Benz, who chugged 3 beers to get over the nerves. 5,000-1. I've done a lot dumber shit with $1 fucking dollar than that.
Mr.
Golf Galaxy, Nick Benz is getting $1.
I was just about to say I will be making a trip to the sports book to adjust some bets just so I can get some action on that.
Watch out, Iowa. Because this is the kind of course where anybody can go out there and shoot 65. And if he makes the weekend, you could have what his line for making the cut's got to be 30-1, 50-1.
I think 35.
Yeah.
That's just silly. Like, why not? Why not?
Galaxy, better sponsors this guy.
You and I were thinking the same thing, though. That guy's getting at least a couple bucks out of me. But there are a couple other guys here. Buckshot, long shot season.
We got a lot of them. I'm not even going to mention all of them.
I was just going to mention a couple that actually rate out well. Jacob Bridgman rates out surprisingly well. Kevin Doherty, somebody that we've bet before. Long ball guy. Just need a little bit of putting out of him. And then we've got a couple down at the bottom here. Again, these are like buckshot $5, $10 bets max. Where the hell did he go? I was just looking at him.
Callum Tarrant.
It is not Callum Tarrant. Shit, it ought to be. Probably.
Shout out, Seth. He was 30th in my model, so I mean, Callum Tarrant could be one. He's not one of mine, but he could be.
Oh, it's Kelly Craft, who rated out really well for me. Not necessarily the prototypical guy, but is playing surprisingly good golf, and he's 250-1. So,
yep.
And that actually slid because I think he was like 275 or 300, something like that.
And I ran an early model, and one guy popped at 500-1. He's at 400-1 now. But I ran my new model, and he is towards the very bottom, Francesco Molinari. I just like saying his name, but
you are a certifiable crazy person.
Kisner's 50th in my model. Your guy Kiz.
I'm usually a sucker to throw a couple bucks at Kiz. You know, did you see Kiz's tweet about Nick Benz?
He wants to play with him.
PGA, pair him with me.
That would be a great pairing.
Hell yeah.
I got to figure out if he did. 2:22 p.m.
Pairings are out, so we can look.
Yeah,
we can check.
2:22 and 1:16. They're not in the same group.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, they're like 3 groups apart though.
Well, should we knock down some DFS at this ever exciting tournament?
Yeah, let's try. The leverage will be easy. No chunk slams like our friend Connor last week.
It's cute.
The club is well. This would be a wrestling class.
Well, Connor, you have the leverage up in front of you there. Let's say, Tom Kim, woof. He doesn't make that many birdies other than last week. Last week, I don't think I had him in any lineups. I didn't play Tom Kim last week, and I was okay with it. I still want a ton of money without him. I don't need it. I don't need you, Tom. I like you. I just don't need you.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I may not have anybody above 9K. They are all in the 20s to mid 30s.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have a lot of those guys, but I'll have some Cam Young. I'll have a sprinkling of Minwoo Lee just to feel something. I won't have any Norn because he sucks. I'll have a little bit of Akshay, but he's not really a DFS kind of guy. Pendrith, Jaeger bombs.
Pendrith is the highest projected ownership.
Well, then never mind. Yeah, that's the easy fade.
I wasn't saying it to take a shot at you. I was saying it disbelief like that.
No, I made the vomiting sound with Taylor Pendrith.
I mean, he's 22.
What's Jaeger?
Jaeger's okay. Jaeger's projected somewhere between 15 and 18. So there's nice. Probably leverage playing Jaeger.
9,600 or 9,400 for Jaeger. I'm going to be heavy on Jaeger.
But I kind of like the idea of starting at Fowler. Like, honestly, I not that I necessarily think Fowler is going to win, but here's the thing. At 9K, he's projected at only 4%, which means virtually no one is playing him.
Defending champion Ricky Fowler.
So if I start at Ricky, I can go Ricky, Mav, Keith Mitchell, Thorn Bjornsson, and I'm still in the low 7s to finish out my roster.
It's so easy. It's so easy to make money this week, guys. Do not skip out on DFS this week. You can absolutely rope it in because guess what? 95% of the people you're going to be competing against don't have a clue who 80% of these players are. That's where the edge is. Watching the show, you get acquainted to lesser known players and what they are capable of in a tournament like this.
It is one charming piece of this show is that, every week we've got some oddball things that the big names in the world aren't
short
talking about.
Will Zalatoris 9,200. I'm going to be very overweight on him. Number 1 on my model.
Yeah, and he's again a prime example of what I just said with Fowler. At 9,000 and 9,200, they're projected each of them's projected between 4.1 and 4.5.
Good Lord.
And the nice thing about that low 9 salary is you don't need either of them to win to return
way more value. Yeah.
So, I love that. It's an awesome way to build.
Red rum, Cashmere Keith. Keith Mitchell, 8,500.
Yeah, I think the thing with Keith Mitchell is I want to play him, but I want to do something different with the rest of my lineup because he is going to be a little chalky. So I like him and I like Davis Thompson, but they're very, very chalky in comparison to the rest of the 8 and 9s.
And you said you're playing Thor Bjornsson, but are you? What's his number looking like?
Only about 6.5.
We're gonna have some very unique lineups, Connor. And if this hits, it's gonna hit gigantic. Like last week when I won, it was because Cam Young was only 5-6%. That's where I can't stress enough. All DFS sports, leverage is the most important thing. No matter what sport you're playing. You're playing esports DFS like Connor does. You're playing MMA like I do. Football. It's all about leverage. If you have the guys that pop off and nobody else has them, you are going to win serious money at DFS. And in PGA, especially in a tournament like this, where there's a cut, where there's a lot of long shots that are going to come out of the woodworks and create value at a very low ownership percentage, this is where we make our hay. This is where we snowball that bankroll. And I just am so excited to see these ownership percentages projected single digits for all of our favorite guys. Go heavy, deposit as much as you can. This is going to be fun.
It is kind of the nice thing for us this week is we have different models, but we're on similar guys, which is usually a good sign. And then on top of that, the rostership projection on the guys we're talking about is nice. Pretty low. So kind of getting into the 8s a little bit more, into the 7s rather. I'm looking a little bit at Kevin Yu, who we loved.
I was just going to say that
last year.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and read our notes. We were all over Kevin Yu.
He can't putt, but his tee to green game is so much fun.
Yeah, and he stripes the ball. God, he hits the ball hard. Man.
Yeah, he's a stocky boy like us too.
And he's another guy that's a 5% projection buried in amongst Nikolai Højgaard and Cam Davis.
Fade.
Yeah, so easy pivot down to Kevin Yu, who's got some game. And then Hisasune is even lower at 6,900. So again, similar type of volatility to Kevin Yu, but another good leverage point. And then Davis Riley right below Ryo Hisasune is actually been playing pretty good golf. Another dude that just kind of sets up and models out really well here. Ton of salary savings if you skip a lot of the chalk that's in the 7 going down to some of these guys. So.
Yep, and you got Phillips there, 6,700.
Love that.
Luke List, just like all these guys that have upside that are going to be barely owned. It's just so nice. Even Alejandro Tosti in DFS has got some upside. Just because, I mean, if he makes the cut, he's usually missing the cut by blowing up, or he goes and catches fire and you can't stop him, like what happened at that tournament where I nearly won 400-1 on him because he was just completely bonkers hot. That's the kind of guy that he is. He's volatile. Jake Knapp's only 6,400 in this field. That's stupid.
Yeah, Jake Knapp is another guy that's going to be pretty heavy in there. I actually
mispriced.
I like Bridgman, who's playing better golf, rates out way better, and saves $100. The biggest thing with Bridgman that I like over Knapp, birdie or better rate. He's 6th in this field over the last 24 rounds.
Nice.
He's number 2 in DK points average over the last 24 rounds.
Yes.
So Bridgman at 6,300 is a really good play down here. Couple other guys down here in this range. Kelly Kraft, who I already talked about, number 1 in this field over the last 24 rounds in approach.
That's good.
Seems pretty good. Crazy. Number 3 in opportunities gained, 7 in 3-putt avoidance, 7th in overall tee to green. Like Kelly Kraft, 5,700. I know that he's a volatile guy and not a big name by any stretch, but like he's a real golfer with real tour experience who's playing good golf this year. So I mean, it's a pretty big misprice. Yeah, and then I'm going to take a couple shots at our boy Hayden Springer at 5,400, who we've talked about before. Great from that 75 to 150 range on approach. And then 1 or 2 lineups with the teenager Miles Russell in them just to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a few more names out there in the value range just so people can fill out their player pools. I'm going to throw, obviously, we got Cameron Champ, who's on my board for this type of event only. Gary Woodland, same thing. No short game to speak of, but great ball striker. Bud Cauley, who can't putt, but he does everything else well. Ben Coles seems to do well at these types of places only, even though Choke City and Pearson Cootie is on my board. We're going to go back to the well with Sam Ryder a little bit. Trace Crow. And, of course, Kelly Kraft, 5,700. That's an incredible value with how he's playing. Vincent Norman, Big Bomber. Let's go, Big Bombers. Rico Hoey, I mentioned him earlier. Let's see. There's one more down here. Ooh, Eric Barnes. Eric Barnes. What are we going to do with Eric Barnes?
I know. I thought about that one too. I think my problem with him is he was
Josh Teeter.
two guys that were on the cusp, but like
Mhm.
the guys the guys that rate out better for me down there have low enough rostership. I don't need to worry about trying to take any longer shots. Like, so they just barely missed, but they were good for me too.
And I'll have one lineup with the kid, and then probably another feel good lineup with Nick Benz.
Oh, you got to get Nick Benz in there.
Yep. Well,
who wins?
He wins. I say Jaeger Bombs.
God, Jaeger Bombs, huh?
Mm-hmm. I really love him.
I'm gonna go. I'll take Mav McNeely.
That'd be nice. Shout out NorCal. Yes, he is from Pebble Beach.
Oh God, I hope he doesn't win. I can't hear shout out NorCal 800 times next week.
Hey, there's a few in this field. I mean, you got him, and you got obviously Cam Champ. So yeah, you got rep. We're repping.
You got a few in there.
Yeah, there's some possibilities. Obviously, Mav is a lot better odds than Cam Champ of winning, but that's baked in. All right, the hat. You have the hat.
I have.
El sombrero.
The hat has arrived.
All right, we got my model up here.
Who did the hat have last time?
I don't even remember. It was somebody good though.
I forgot already.
Me too.
That just tells you the hat did not win.
No.
Oh, the hat's not going to have a good week. The hat has selected number 96 in our models.
Whoo, that's going to be deep. 96.
Ooh.
Hey, it's a familiar name, not one we've talked about recently, but go ahead with yours.
Kevin Tway.
Oh, he got drawn on my end a couple months ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did okay. He made the cut last week, so maybe Kevin Tway will make the cut and make the hat look smart.
There's no way.
My number 96 is the 5 best rappers.
Dylon.
Dylan Wu from Southern Oregon. Shout out. 96th on my model. He does have some stats that look okay, but he's not having a great season.
I will be honest. I'd ride your hat pick this week.
Yeah.
Kevin Tway is a rough pick hat.
Son of Bob.
Well, I have nothing more of value to add to this wonderful field or tournament.
All right. Well, from Conor Coughlin, I'm Bo McBrayer. What's next week?
Next week is the I just looked before we came on air too.
Something terrible, isn't it?
It's not good. We have like a nice 2-week stretch of not exciting golf. John Deere.
The John Deere. That's fine. I'm okay with the John Deere.
Well, then it goes Scottish.
I like the Scottish Open, and yeah, I like the Scottish at New Berwick.
Then we got the Open at Royal Troon. So we got some good ones coming.
Troon. I love Troon. Okay. Join us next week. This is the 19th hole, live as always. Thanks, Tim. You're going to go down this week. Go down.